Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Monday. It's a freezing cold Monday. And as you can see, my wallpaper and background doesn't help that freezing cold mood either. It is December. It is Christmas. It is the first Monday mashup in December as we're on the road to Christmas, of course. Hope you all had a great weekend. It's freezing. Strap yourselves in. We have a big show tonight for you. We've got to do a Premier League review, Premier League preview. We're going to be talking about the games coming up midweek. We're going to talk about the FA Cup draw, Euro 2024, the new Premier League deal. But before we talk about all that, my good friend, live from Stockley Park via West Dublin, my cuz, baby Elvis himself. Marky, how are we?
Thanks a million for having me tonight, cuz. Love in the background. Great bit of a Christmassy theme going on there.
Yeah, I thought I'd make it all nice and festive. I spent the whole weekend decorating. I
Did
felt like
you?
Clark Griswold. I was up on
Yes.
ladders with toy wraps and clips, but I have to say, first time plugged in, all came on, so it was all good.
You can't beat
Not a
that.
bother
It's
at
so
all.
satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't
Even
beat
when the
it.
kids are older, like it's mad. Still get a buzz out of it and stuff like that. Actually,
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think we make more of an effort now that they're too old, than we used to when they were younger.
Listen,
Actually, it's
you
mad,
can't
isn't
beat
it?
it. We had an early start yesterday morning. We were in Dundrum to see Santa at 10:15 yesterday morning.
Nice.
Obviously Holly's first trip to Santa as well, so it was special. And fair play to Barry and all the elves and all up there. They were brilliant with us yesterday because there was a good crowd of us, all of Vaughn's brothers and sisters with their kids and all, man. So it was very, very good.
That's very cool. Did you get some big family picture type things and all
Yeah,
the
do you know what?
whole group?
We were there, and he says, obviously we'll just take one family in at a time. He says, but we don't usually do this, but we'll bring Santa out. They have a sleigh in the middle of the courtyard of the grotto, and he says we'll get him out and get a picture of all the kids together. So fair play to them. They did it. Obviously they had to use a bit of a smoke screen because there was obviously still kids in the line and stuff like that, you know. But it was very well run, and fair play to them. Now definitely be going back next year.
Awesome, that's great. But before we kick off the show, we have to mention our sponsors this season for the Monday matchup.
Oh yes.
Fill us in, Marky.
Yeah, we had our trophies over in Marino School in Bray. It's a school for special needs kids. They were there on Friday. They were having a Jersey Day on Friday, and Tony brought it over. Brought the trophies over to them on Friday afternoon, and yeah, it was great. He was sending me pictures of all the kids' reactions and even the teachers and stuff like that. It was brilliant. Like I put a post up today there on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you have a chance, go over and have a look, guys. And it's great to see the kids' reactions. You know, they just love it. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, is there a better way of starting Christmas in December? How about
That's
that?
it.
Like all the
Exactly.
trophies and the kids blown away by it. They go home feeling like a champion that day. You know?
Exactly. And then this Saturday, I was on to Paul Keaton there. He's the head of the Lucan United Academy. So this Saturday was meant to be last Saturday, but with the weather and stuff like that. So this Saturday, it doesn't matter what the weather's going to be. If they're going to be handing out selection boxes, Santa's going to be there, and we're going to have the trophies down at Lucan United at the clubhouse this Saturday morning from about 10:30 onwards.
So if you're in the Lucan area and you want a free selection box, figure out how to get a Lucan jersey, you'll be all good.
No, Esker Celtic welcome.
As Presley would say, you'll be all hooked up, not shooked up.
Too right.
Brilliant.
Too right.
So make sure, folks, go over all the socials. Make sure you're supporting Marky, liking, sharing, and following Hogan Elite Trophy here. And remember, available for that special occasion in your life, no matter what it is. As always, we better chat to our OGs in the chat here, as always. Starting, of course, always with Eno's in. What's a crack, Niall? It's hard to say about Ten Hag. Don't forget, folks, we have a poll up there at the moment. Will Eric Ten Hag be in charge of Manchester United come Christmas? Yay or nay? Let us know.
Is he in charge now? That's the question.
That's a good question. Maybe that should have been the question. Happy for him and more power to him. Redbird's in. Big up, Redbird. Big up all. Good to see you. Jack is in. Jack is smashing it out on Twitch, folks. Jack, if you have your link for Twitch, drop it in there and get people to follow you, mate. Drop it in. What's the story, everyone? All good. Steve's in. How are you, Steve? CM Punk still
our weekly message, yeah.
It's snowing on the podcast. It certainly is. Joanne's in. How are you, Joanne? Good to see you.
How are you, Joanne? You all right?
No wrestling talk, please. Look, the police are in. Evening, lads. What's the crack? Big up, Baz. Good to see you.
How are you, Baz?
Joanne, we got you in the FA Cup. Well, you won it already. he chucked cup games away. I was actually saying the other day, Joanne, I'm happy for you to win the FA Cup if we win the league. To be all good. I'd
Yes,
sacrifice
no
it, but
doubt.
yeah, absolutely. I'll have to do. We'll have to put a show together, Joanne. Get myself, yourself, Warren, Coyle, and a few of them on. Have a bit of crack.
Morris.
Do maybe a preview for Morris. Yeah, absolutely, Morris. Yeah. Niall, mate, if you missed my Twitch live stream tonight, I'll be doing one tomorrow at 7 and my voice reveal. Absolutely, Jack. Just if you're doing that, Jack, just send me a link and stuff like that. Yeah, he will get sacked after we battered him. There you go. It doesn't work the link unless you're a mod, mate. Oh, okay, no problem at all. Right, so let's get in. Premier League review. Let's talk about what happened at the weekend. We start off Arsenal 2, Wolves 1, Marky. Should have been easy work for the Arsenal. Made it
I was just
difficult
going
in
to
the end.
say, it should have and could have been about 4 or 5-0 at half time, the chances they had. And even into the second half, early in the second half, they created some great chances to put the game to bed. And, I thought, in fairness, their 2 goals were very, like Arsenal years ago under Wenger, very well worked. Saka's in particular in the first, cutting in from
Great team
the
goals.
right. Oh, unreal.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I think Martinelli hit the post, and Declan Rice had a few chances, and Odegaard and all. And you just felt they should have at 2-0 up. They could have been 4 or 5 at half time. And then, listen, I think Wolves kind of got into it a little bit, and they created a few chances, and then got the goal. And then it's a nervous last few minutes at 2-1. But obviously, Arsenal seen it over the line, and I think they've Luton away now on Wednesday, and then a big game
Tomorrow.
against Aston Villa next week. Tomorrow, is it? Yeah.
Luton
And
tomorrow,
then
yeah.
a big game against Aston Villa the weekend, which is going to be a cracker, I'd say.
Yeah, and of course we have to mention Jesus as well, living up to the billing. Absolutely cannot finish his dinner. I'm glad he said it as well. Brentford 3, Luton 1.
Yeah, Brentford getting back to winning ways. We've seen a few sparks of what they were last season and stuff. We haven't seen it much this season, in fairness. Remember at the start of last season and beating us, what was it, 3-1 or 4-1 in one of our first away games last season. And they just, like I said, ever since Tony's gone, they're missing a little spark. But it was a great win, and Luton probably would have fancied there and try to get a point off them, but they meant business. You could see it on them. So great home win for them. I think they have a few tough games coming up as well, don't they? Burnley or Brentford, sorry.
I think so, yeah. I think they're in the mix now, coming all through December with top teams and stuff like that, yeah. So it should be interesting. Actors and then Sir Jim will sack Ten Hag when Champions League qualifying becomes impossible.
It is impossible.
Premier League TV deal is ridiculous money. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We have the details of the deal and also our thoughts on it. Some parts of it not very good, I think, but let's see. Shock result: Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0. McBurney seeing red again, thank God, because we have them on Wednesday. And he's their kind of focal point there. But Burnley actually showing shades of football.
Yeah, it's always easy. Well, it's not too easy against 10 men at the best of times, but obviously it was a comfortable win. It's one they needed. I think Sheffield United, I was reading the manager could be heading for the exit door soon, but you kind of feel for him a little bit. It's been tough because, they had kind of double promotions and they haven't really added any quality of such in any particular place in the pitch, and it's been tough for them. It really has. You talk about McBurney being their focal point. He hasn't even been great this season, has he, when you think about it? When he was in the Championship, he's banging in goals left, right and centre. He does have this kind of hot-headed side to him as well. I've seen it in the Championship, and him losing the rag and stuff like that. He can be a bit of a liability at times, if I've been honest with you. But I do feel sorry for the manager because, like I said, they haven't added any quality. And you're going to get in that relegation battle from day one if you have that, if you don't bring any quality into the team.
Yeah, true. It's a strange one, isn't it? Like Sheffield United, and of course, there sounds like the manager's going to get the sack at some stage today or this evening, by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
So come Wednesday against Liverpool, he could be managerless or in a caretaker manager situation as well. So hopefully,
did you hear the rumor going around?
No, I haven't. What's the rumor? Who's the chosen one, as they say?
Neil Warnock has been rumored to take the hot seat. Yeah.
Hopefully, he takes it after Wednesday. Hopefully, he takes it after
back in the Premier League.
Yeah, Forest 0, Everton 1. Everton getting that win to sort of kickstart, trying to, pull back some of this 10-point deduction. McNeil with the goal on 67.
And surprisingly, not a Forest goal scored. When you seen, obviously they scored 3 last week, 2 the week before against West Ham and stuff like that as well. And again, they probably would have fancied the win there, or at least a home draw. It didn't work out, and like you said, it's a great 3 points on the road for Everton and a much needed 3 points, because obviously when they came up against us last week, there was, I was worried. I texted you last Sunday because I was worried about it, the atmosphere, what it was going to be like and stuff like that, but they've bounced back really well with a really, really good 3 points on the road and a clean sheet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we have to talk about Chelsea will get something at Old Trafford. Let's see what happens. But again, the prelude for that, obviously, Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. If there was ever a scoreline that didn't tell the tale of a game, if you hadn't watched it, but Newcastle absolutely battered you, didn't they, really?
Yeah. 2 things I'm really pissed off about is that I missed Strictly because of it, and the result. Now, all joking aside, it was piss poor. Yeah, if I'm a Newcastle fan, I'm disappointed they didn't put us away 2 or 3-0. And don't forget, Newcastle have I wouldn't say a depleted team, but they've a lot of injuries and this, that, and the other. And they dug in, they did a massive performance during the week where I personally thought they were robbed in the last few minutes against PSG, and Livramento felt so sorry for him. I thought he had a fantastic game against them, and obviously it was his handball, which wasn't a handball in my opinion, but that's another story. But yeah, listen, we were second best at everything. We showed no determination, we showed no passion. We're a group of individuals that are lackluster, that don't look like they want to know. There's obviously, you see Rashford's reaction to getting taken off, and he's not performing at all. I know I know the lads talked about him on Sky Sports yesterday and stuff like that, but you remember, because you could be losing a game and you'd have Wayne Rooney tracking back, trying to win a ball back, and just giving his heart and soul. And we don't have that with this team. Bruno can do it the odd time, but he only tracks back when he's whinging or he's moaning to the referee and he's doing it out frustration. Sorry, but I think Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire had a decent game. I think that we only really started playing the last 5 minutes of the game, and that was just literally Harry Maguire up front, and we were just trying to get the ball up to him. It's been,
I suppose,
a tough few weeks.
I suppose the disappointing thing really is, if you look at Marcus Rashford, I mean, we know how good he can be when motivated and when switched on and when in the right environment, if you like. But he tends to fall out of that situation so easy, like
Too
Anthony
easy.
Martial somewhat. And I think the biggest problem as well is, when Chelsea fans talk about proper Chelsea and stuff like that, Rashford should be proper United, gone through the whole ranks there, brought through the whole system and stuff like that. We said it a few weeks ago when Sir Bobby passed away, how he signed him and all that kind of stuff and all. And, he should care more than anyone on that pitch. And I keep on saying this, if Harry Maguire is walking off the pitch week in, week out, and no disrespect to Harry Maguire, who played at the back and played up front the other night to try and make things happen against Newcastle. And I just think if that's the case, this is the guy who's the most vilified guy in the club, who's been outed by everyone to try and bin him out the door and stuff like that. And he's the guy at the moment literally putting in the most effort. He's the guy who came out after the game and did the interview. He's the guy who stood up to be counted and stuff like that and all,
100%.
And I think it gets to a stage where, it's a difficult one as well. I look at Eric Ten Hag at the moment, and I get the feeling Manchester is the last place he wants to be at the moment. I get the feeling he's waiting. And you can see by some of the decisions, you can see by... he knows by putting Marcus out on the right, he ain't going to be happy. He ain't going to be happy. And it's like as if he's instigating a lot of this stuff with a lot of these players. And we'll talk about United more later. But there's a lot of kind of frightening stuff going on there at the moment. You know what I mean? You see Martial absolutely going ballistic on the pitch at Eric Ten Hag. Yet Jadon Sancho responded to comments that were made about him to try and defend himself, and he's binned off into isolation. You've got Marcus Rashford, who's just petulant and childish, to say the least, who should be 100% Man United. As you said, he should be the guy being seen in every location on the pitch, nearly trying to do something.
You look at Stevie G, because for years no disrespect to Liverpool and the fans in the chat, but he kept you from mid-table mediocrity. Like when you think about with his performances, if he hadn't performed like he did in the early 2000s, when you think about it, you wouldn't have gotten the likes of Luis Suarez, Xavi Alonso, Fernando Torres, all these players. You just wouldn't have got them only for Stevie G and the performances he put in over that period in the Premier League. We have no players like that. We've no players that show that passion to play for the badge. They're happy enough to get that 250, 300,000 a week. But when it comes to actually performing, listen, we know in the past we were talking about the TalkSport interview there a few weeks about player power and this, that, and the other. That shouldn't come into it. You should be playing for your badge. United are paying them a wage. The fans going to see them are paying your wages. You put on a performance for them. Don't mind who's on the sideline. Put a performance in for them. If anything, absolute joke.
Yeah, it looked really, really bad. And then where I feel like he's kind of checked out as a manager as well is when you see the post match and even the pre-match pressers and stuff like that. Like he's talking absolute garbage. He's absolutely he's in denial of what he's saying in front of his own eyes. And I know you can't just go in there and just literally throw, like you hear about them, they can't go in and just literally throw players on the bus, but that's exactly what he did with Sancho. You know what I mean? And yet
look what he's doing with Varane as well. Look what he's doing with Varane. Like, in fairness, Shaw had a decent game and Maguire had a very good game as well. But you have a natural centre half there that's fit now. We might only get 4 or 5 games on him before he gets injured again, but he's sitting there on the bench. I know he's training well, like I was just saying to you beforehand, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Like obviously, I was telling you there from a very reliable source, Casemiro's training twice a day, and he's looking like he's out the door now in January. Martial will be gone in January as well, and Varane won't be too far behind him. Apparently, Steve McLaren is trying to be the go-between between the players and Ten Hag. He's getting a bit of help from Bruno as well in terms of that, but it's just an absolute shambles behind the scenes. Shambles.
Steve McLaren looks like he's ready to take on the Ralph Rangnick role till the end of the season. That's what he's looking like. Because if you looked at it there the other day at Newcastle, I'm observing Steve McLaren on the bench as well. He's not moving. He's not getting involved. He's literally just perched there. He's waiting. And I think that's the case and stuff like that and all. And it's just, look, it's a tough one. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat and all. And I think, honestly, you're going to have to get to a stage, we spoke about it before the show as well, where a number of those key players have to go out the door and you have to have a proper reset. You have to bin off that cancer that's in the club and stuff,
Listen, and there was lads online talking about the owners. Lads, the owners have given the manager money to spend. Like you can't, everything can't go back to the Glazers. Do you know what I mean? There has to become a point where you look at the players, you look at the manager. It can't always go back to the owners.
But the money he spent, he's not even playing the players that he bought.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
He's back playing the players that he tried to crowbar out the door in the summer, and he's sitting down the players that he purchased. It's a mess, You look at Amrabat. Amrabat looks like he'd rather be back at Fiorentina come January.
Yeah, like I said, like the personal issues now with Casemiro and Varane and all, it's going to cost us, and they're going to be gone in January.
Yeah, and listen, they're not going to be easy to replace either, and they ain't going to be cheap, and especially with your financial fair play stuff as well, where you're I don't know where it's at the moment, but obviously if those players go out, they're probably going to go out for decent money, I'd imagine, which will ease it and stuff like that. But like, you're not going to replace a player like Varane too easy. I know he'd just be out injured and stuff like that, but when he's there and when he's playing,
when he's in his pomp and all, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one else will get Darren Gibson back now after getting Johnny Evans back.
Yeah. 34,000 tickets sold for AWL in Wembley August. Are you serious, Acers? I'm shocked at that now. I hope it's true, but I'm shocked at that. Like a 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again. Probably the best Arsenal chance. Yeah, it was cool. It's good. Yeah, they're all suddenly Kai Havertz fans, aren't they? Interesting. Yeah. All right. Bournemouth 2, Villa 2. Bournemouth will feel very hard done by that they didn't pick up the 3 points. Ollie Watkins leaving it late to get the equaliser. We spoke about Villa, Marky, this season on the road.
Yeah,
hasn't been very good, in fairness.
I was very pissed off when I seen Ollie Watkins was was involved because I took him out of my fancy team thinking he was 50% chance of playing and I was reading the press conferences and saying, so I took him out and put one Darwin Núñez in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, listen, Bournemouth, ever since they've been hockeyed 6-1 in the Etihad against City, they picked up some really good results, obviously beating Newcastle at home, and they would have felt very disappointed to give away the lead and let Villa get back into it. It was a great header by Ollie Watkins. Leon Bailey's goal was great, fantastic as well. But from a Bournemouth point of view, Solanke, Euro may scoring as well. He's doing very well this season, isn't he? And like
Absolutely.
the Vitality
last season as well.
Yeah. The Vitality Stadium, it is a difficult place to go and get something out of. And they again, Villa have Arsenal next weekend. I can't remember who are they playing. I read again. Who are they playing midweek?
Bournemouth.
No, Villa.
Villa have on Wednesday, I would imagine. Sorry about this now. Wednesday. I actually have a slide. What am I doing? Should I have a slide?
Hey, I was looking. Yeah, City. Villa, I knew it. City because they've City and Arsenal in the next 2 games, so it's cheers, Aces. I just seen you dropped it into the chat there. Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, 2 really tough games coming up, especially after that, and missing a few players as well. So it's going to be tough. But we said it a few weeks ago. It'd be interesting to see how long they can go for without dropping points. And there's 2 massive games coming up in the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, Chelsea 3, Brighton 2. De Zerbi somewhat struggling to find a balance between Europe and the Premier League, isn't he?
Yeah. It's always going to be difficult for them. We seen with some of the Premier League teams gone into Europe in the debut season. It hasn't exactly happened for them in the league. Then, especially, it is tough playing Thursday nights and that 2:00 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. I know that yourself and Dazar have talked about it as well. But they're not as lucky as some of the other teams that have the bigger squads that are able to do it. Remember West Ham a few seasons ago were absolute shocking as well because they didn't have the strength and depth to be able to compete on both levels. And obviously Brighton, again, they're one of those teams struggling with injuries this season as well, but listen, for Chelsea's point of view, two fantastic home games. The game last week against City and to get a 3-2 win against a decent Brighton team. And then they're playing us now on Wednesday night, so they'll be well up for that, thinking they get another 3 points on Wednesday in Old Trafford.
Yeah, it'll be tough as well, I suppose. They lost Conor Gallagher to a red. Needless red, to be honest. Silly stuff again. Boys should know better.
2 yellows, was it? Or was it?
It was, as far as I know.
Yeah. He's got that in his locker, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, do you know what it is? I think sometimes I think he's just a bit naive and he forgets about the first booking. It's like as if he's not on a booking or something like that, but he's very important to them. Very
100%, because I think he done something similar when he was playing on loan with Palace last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Redbirds in. On paper, we are better than most clubs, but any team on their day can beat us, so we shouldn't get overconfident for any game. Absolutely. Look, we said it a million times. There's no easy games in the Prem. There is no easy games in the Prem, and it's all about the mentality and about showing up. But look at Man City. Man City now on the back of 3 draws. You know what I mean? And 100%. This is the team, and stuff like that. So it's really, really important that we that we keep that in mind when we're going out there. And I think a part of that has been our Achilles heel at Liverpool. We go out with a certain mentality. You seen against Fulham the other day. For about 15 minutes of that game, we were really, really good. And then we just kind of felt like we were going to coast through this, and then all of a sudden it comes back and bite us. Simple goals, Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. This one was crazy. I thought, bar the first sort of 15 minutes, and the goals were all fabulous and stuff like that. But I just thought we were really, really poor then. I thought we lacked structure, we lacked formation, we let things slide so easy. If you look at the Harry Wilson goal, it was a real training goal where you have, the way you would set up in training, forwards versus defence with bibs, and they just walk straight through. It was so simple. The ball should have never got there, and he put it in. Kelleher at times was a little bit weak. He could have been a bit stronger. Wouldn't hold it against him. Not easy boots to fill. Allison's overall did okay. I do like his speed of recycling the ball when he has it. I think he's really, really quick at that, which is cool. But I think he just needed to be a little bit stronger. Now, they were awkward as well and stuff like that, but it should have never got to that point. I thought we could have been stronger for the Bobby Reid goal at the back post. I thought Costas was really, really weak for that one. The Wilson one was a good team goal. From our point of view, hard to believe. As you said, Leno got the OG on that. I thought Trent's free kick was outstanding.
I felt very sorry for him there that was given as an OG. Like that's his goal all day long.
McAllister obviously sending a message to Klopp that he wants to be an 8 and not a 6 with a missile of a goal.
What a finish, man.
Unbelievable. And then they made some substitutions, which I thought were actually, believe it or not, I was saying, what's he doing? He's bringing off McAllister and Dominic, and he's bringing on Gomez, I think it was, and Endo. And I was thinking, are we trying to just sneak an equaliser here and shut shop at what's going on here, you know? And then
I thought Endo done very well.
Great team goal. Cushion header down from Nunes into Salah, turns, lays it on a play for Endo, and Endo into the top right corner. It was a beautiful. And he didn't even bury it either. He just placed it into that, rhythm and stuff like that and all. And then Trent's goal was just a melee, comes to him and he finishes it. I think there was case for a foul in the build-up to it. Where the shot flew by as well and stuff like that, but it wasn't picked up, thank God. And we ended up getting the 3 points. And I think for the league this year, and I've said it with Morris as well, I think it's really important that you have 3 or 4 teams in around this all applying the pressure, not just a 2-horse race that time kind of can fall off. City look like they've problems now. I think Rodri's going to be out on Wednesday. It sounds like Haaland isn't going to get into any trouble. I can't understand that. Apparently he's going to avoid trouble, which begs the question, why did Virgil van Dijk get fined 100 grand and get a 1-game ban for practically the exact same thing?
There was more than Haaland around the referee as well, wasn't there?
Absolutely, but they've only charged the club with not controlling its players, basically. So I don't know what that means and stuff like that. But listen, West Ham won. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to ask how many more games is Alisson going to be out for?
They reckon he's not going to be back until the game against United. And I reckon Jota won't be back until the new year. And he'll come back in probably on the tail end of Salah heading off to the AFCON. So timing might be okay.
Cleavy, and I thought he might have done better for 1 or 2 of the goals yesterday when I seen it, you know. Listen, I've seen him in action firsthand in the Kennedy Cup and stuff. He's a great shot stopper, but I don't know whether, you know, he hasn't had too many games under his belt playing in the Premier League. You know, it's more of a cup goalkeeper. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, you know.
John's in. How are you, my friend? It's been a moment, hasn't it? Gunners top of the league and Liverpool second. Like the good old days, John. Like the good old days. Good to see you, my friend. Keep in touch, man.
John.
Have to come on. John, we have to do a preview, me and you as well, for that FA Cup game. Have to do one. That would be class as well. Absolutely. That's what I said. Foul on the defender for the 4th goal. Absolutely. But look, we're going to Gio. We were going to Gio, weren't we, really? Quavin Keller had an Onana performance yesterday. We got that far now.
He wasn't that bad.
He was a bit weak. Yeah, we still won and got the 3 points. Let's go easy here now, you know. But big up, John. Thanks for being in the chat and all. Good to see you, pal. Hope the family and all is good, my friend. West Ham won, Palace won.
Watching this in Dundrum yesterday, obviously my mother is a West Ham fan. But after they went 1-0 up, I just felt West Ham would go on and win the game. Palace weren't showing much and after West Ham scored at all, and Edouard got the goal out of probably nothing, like, and it's a point that they need because they haven't been great in the last few games, Palace, have they really?
No, if anything, they've been poor. So it's just they've been very, very blunt and struggling a lot as well. And just that's a big point for Palace actually.
100%.
They'll be very happy with that. On the flip side, West Ham will be kicking themselves. But again, it's the Thursday, Sunday European, you know, conundrum kind of thing. And I say it even in our game as well. We were knackered on our feet as well. If you looked at Salah yesterday, Salah was banjoed at the end of it. And I think it was a combination of the amount of minutes he's put in this season, nearly plays every game. But also he was probably feeling the pressure of trying to get that 200 goal over the line as well. Because I looked at him, I don't know if you've seen Salah at the end of the game. His hair was all over the place. He was like Sideshow Bob. And he just looked absolutely banjoed.
He's dying to get it, isn't
really,
he?
Really tired.
Especially before the African nations. He wants to get in there before that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would hope he would get it on Wednesday, but I'm sort of in two minds. I'll be doing a preview for that game, and I'm in
I
two
think I know
minds
what's
about
coming up.
maybe you should need a rest. You know what I mean? And how do you rest the
Come
guy
back in
who's
the
chasing
17th.
200 goals and not annoy him? You know, so I don't know.
You
It's a
were
tough
hoping
one.
to
But
get
then we've
on the
got Palace.
17th
We've got
against
Palace
us.
at the weekend at 12:30. 12:30 again.
Another half 12
Yeah,
kick.
yeah.
What's this
It's a
about the
wonder they
9th
didn't
in the
put the
last
Sheffield
season?
United one at 12:30 on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
The way things are going, you know, absolutely
Imagine you
crazy.
watching it in Simmons
Oh,
Wednesday
man, I tell you.
morning.
Yeah, and then we rounded out with a cracker. Man City 3, Tottenham 3. Didn't see that coming, did you?
No. I thought the way Spurs have played last week and stuff like that, and how they kind of just imploded. I thought it would be a City win without a doubt, but I couldn't believe it. Like how Song's first goal caught him on the break. I think was it Doku that was getting back at the time. He should have won the ball. Song just
Yeah.
sticks his head on it.
Yeah, and then it goes under Edison.
Under Edison, and then you're thinking, right, Spurs are up for it here. Obviously to and fro, and then the decision at the end by the referee, which was crazy in my opinion. I thought he put his arm out for the advantage, and he gave the advantage. And the minute it gets to Grealish, he blows the whistle. Now, when I seen that happening, I thought to myself, has
what a wonderful world.
Well, I was thinking to myself, has the assistant referee flagged Grealish for offside? And he hadn't. So then, obviously, you're seeing the reaction from the City players, and I'm like, geez, the referee is fucked up big time here. Like
it's monumental, wasn't it?
Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember a few seasons ago, Lewis Dunk scored a free kick against West Brom, and the referee had blown the whistle for it to be taken, but then he blew it again just before the ball went over the line. I don't know why he blew it the second time. The lads in the chat, you might remember this. And then he didn't give it, and then he gave the goal, then he didn't give it. I think it was just a case of he just blew the whistle at the wrong time, you know, and listen, who knows if Grealish would have went on and scored, or if he would have been hacked down and the Spurs player getting sent off or whatever. But it was a crazy game, wasn't it? Like City showing their flaws. And obviously see Haaland missing from 8 yards. He is human after all. That was some miss, wasn't it?
Mad stuff at the moment. It just feels with City at the moment. Do they feel like a little bit vulnerable? Like after hitting the dizzy heights of doing that treble and all, and winning the European Cup and all those, and now coming into this season, and the expectation is to go and win 4 in a row, which has never been done, and all that kind of thing and all. And it's just the weight of the pressure on them. And then they've taken out the likes of Gundogan going and Mahrez going, and you know, a different style of play there at the moment and all, and it's they're playing in a different kind of way. Now, I think we're seeing this with a lot of the top teams as well. We're kind of playing, a lot of us, even Arsenal, I think at times, and Liverpool, playing in a labouring type of way to just do enough to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of way. And I don't know if it's a combination of tactics or a combination of just worn out tiredness or whatever it is, or expectation, you know. It's absolutely massive at the moment. Well. But you see a lot of teams at the moment at the high end, top 4, 5, 6 teams at the moment. They hit 60 minutes, and it's like they hit a wall, and they just absolutely banjoed on their feet and stuff like that. You know, so
there has been a lot of games we've talked about. There's been a hell of a lot of games, and obviously since COVID, they had a lot of games to catch up on, and they had the Euros, the World Cup, the qualifiers, and this, that, and the other. It's tough going, like, you know, like we said it there.
You've Pep tinkering with Man City all the time, changing players into different positions and all. The week before, I think, was it against us, he never even made a substitution. He played out the 11 for the whole game and all, and you know, it's weird for him the way we're seeing at the moment.
Like we were only talking about in the shop there the other week, like they have 3 international breaks. When we did in October or November was the 3rd one, wasn't it? It's so many games for them to be playing, you know.
Yeah, John spot on here. Very poor City, which was crazy, in my opinion. Very poor City indeed. Tottenham are okay. I thought City, but very nervy playing though, which never seen before, to be honest. Yeah, it's like as if they're nearly second questioning Pep, nearly, isn't it? Kind of a little bit. They're kind of trying to figure out what you want and stuff, you know.
I think they might have taking Spurs for granted, seeing the last three performances. They might have thought just, here we'll go out and win this, lads, and then after Spurs gone 1-0 up, they're like, right, we're into a game here, what are we going to do? And Song, I thought, was fantastic. Never stopped running. There's a player, Marcus Rashford, could take a lot of things off. He never stopped running all day up and down the pitch. Obviously, after he scored the OG, most of the lads' heads would drop, but he just got on with it to try to get the next goal for Spurs and get them back into the game and take the lead, try to take the lead again,
Yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all develops. If you look at the moment now, if they've got Villa, haven't they, on Wednesday? And if they don't get out now of that Villa game, and Arsenal looks like they'll probably beat Luton tomorrow night, I would imagine. The gap would be 6 points. 6 points. You know what I mean? And then the games are going to come thick and fast, injuries, all these things that are going on at the moment. And you know yourself, when you're a top 4 or top 6 club and you talk about injuries, you ain't going to get any sympathy in this league for it with the money that you spend and the players that you sign and all that. So, right, let's get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Flat out. Going to be flat out between now and Christmas. So we start off Wolves versus Burnley. Surely Wolves are going to bounce back on this, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd expect them to. Like, they've played some really good football this season. I thought they've been unlucky in games. I spoke about the game against Sheffield United that time when I thought they were robbed and stuff like that. Or the Newcastle game, sorry, I thought they were robbed. Monday night against Fulham, they were very unlucky again, and obviously it was always going to be a tough game against Arsenal. Burnley will be going there with confidence after winning 5-0. Something they haven't done this season is won a game by a fair margin, and it'd be an interesting game. But yeah, I'd expect Wolves to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack's in. I wish it could be Christmas every day. I don't, Jack. It'd be too expensive for me with the 3 kids.
I know the
but I
feeling,
do
Jack.
enjoy it.
I
I do
love
feeling. Christmas.
I
Luton versus.
I prefer Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Luton versus Arsenal. Tough place to go at the moment. Luton showing signs of being able to do bits, but Arsenal should have too much for them, shouldn't they?
They should. But like you said, it is a really tough game or a place to go for a game. And I said it, they're going to take points off the big boys there this season. They will. It can be an intimidating ground to go to. The fans are so close to the pitch, the style of football they play. They try to catch it on the counter and stuff like that. But Arsenal, I think, should have enough in their locker, even if they made a few changes as well. They should have enough in their locker to beat them by a few goals.
Jack said, Noel, if you don't mind me asking, but do you get paid from YouTube? I don't yet, Jack. I'm on the way to getting there. The problem I have is not the subscribers. We've reached our subscribers. It's the actual watch hours. You have to have over, I think it's 4,500 watch hours or something before you start getting paid as well, so per year. So struggling on that. So folks, make sure you're watching the content and sharing it and all that kind of good stuff as well, so we can get the watch hours up, and then I can start earning 40, 50 cents a day off YouTube for my efforts. Palace versus Bournemouth, big game for both teams.
It is, yeah. I could see a draw here, if I'm being honest. Obviously, Palace got a draw against West Ham, Bournemouth a draw as well. Yeah, I've been listening to every known Christmas song to man in the shop since it feels like the first week of November, so a month or so. But yeah, listen, it should be a good game. It depends on the teams they put out, but it should be an end-to-end game. But I fancy a draw there.
Sheffield United, Liverpool.
I think we can only see one thing there, unless whatever happens in the club in Sheffield United in the next 24 hours or so. By the looks of it, like we were saying, the manager could be gone. But yeah, you'd expect you to win by a few goals there, 100%. Like,
I'd like to see Warnock versus Klopp if that's the case. Actually,
be unreal, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
unreal.
Kind of
but now, listen, I can see he's winning 3 or 4-0. To be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we're better looking. Hopefully Mo gets number 200 and potentially 201 as well. Yeah, then the gapper might feel a bit more comfortable, maybe resting him. Without upsetting him. We don't want to upset Mo Salah.
You get those curls back in the hair.
Yeah, Brighton versus Brentford.
This be an interesting game. Obviously, Brighton coming off a defeat. Brentford, getting somewhat of their mojo back as well. So, again, listen, it depends who Brighton are going to play, and I don't know. Did Evan Ferguson get knocked the other day?
He did get a knock, but I think he's okay.
He
I
should be
think
all
he's
right,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he should be all right. Yeah.
Because that's happening too much for him. He's had a good few knocks over the season, like, you know, and I know we spoke about it there 2 weeks ago and stuff, but I
It's the
actually,
physical. It's the physical style. It's the physical style that he plays, though, isn't
he
it?
plays, yeah.
He's bound. He's bound to get it, and he's kind of he's very aggressive in the moment as well. So really,
Yeah.
there's like when he's coming at you with a ball, there's only one way to stop him. Like
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'll go for a home win there. Brighton, I fancy.
Brighton home man. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thomas Frank probably wants to build on the win the other day and stuff like that, but I think he will struggle. Fulham
Yeah.
versus Forest.
Again, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game because obviously Fulham. I watched the highlights back on Monday. Obviously, this day last week we were on here, so I watched the highlights back against Wolves. You know, and we've seen them against Shields. You know, they can really kind of push teams at times, and you wouldn't really think you see Willian and stuff like that. I thought he had a decent game and all. So, but then Forest will be looking to come back after a bad defeat against even Morris against Everton. So this is going to be a tricky one. This be a tricky one to call, like, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
Evening,
it.
gents.
Yeah,
Just time
right,
from work
Morris.
into his name, Charlie. We'll catch up. Ten Hag is playing toxic. That poor United dressing room.
There's rumours going
Oh
around.
my God.
Stephen Kenny was seen in Carrington today, Morris. So
So it's
you never
all
know.
good.
Yeah,
It's all good, as they say. What am I looking for here then? Next for Villa versus Man City. This is going to be a cracker, isn't it?
I'd say so. Like when I first seen this, I was looking at the fixtures earlier on my lunch break. I have 2-2 in my head. I just think it's going to be a 2-2 game. But like we just talked about, what Pep's obviously going to make changes, isn't he? So
I think he has to. I
he
think he has to.
100% he will. He will. So it just depends. Obviously, it'd be interesting to see if Ollie Watkins starts. Obviously, coming back from the knock, and he had a goal and assist there on the game against Bournemouth. But is it? It'd be interesting. I don't know. Would he get Haaland out the limelight and start Alvarez up top and stuff like that? Obviously, I don't think he will because they need the points, especially if Arsenal beat Luton. They know they're, like you said, what would it be, 6 points in the difference?
Yeah, it's 6 points in the difference at that stage, so Arsenal will have opened up the gap, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so but listen, even if Arsenal and Luton drew, he'd be like, right, we need 3 points here to keep on top of things. So, I reckon it's going to be 2-2.
Yeah, interesting. United Chelsea.
Do we have to?
Why not?
Yeah, like every game this season, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough game. Obviously, Chelsea had the result against the draw against City. Did a good win against Brighton the weekend. Obviously, we didn't play well against Newcastle. I don't know. It depends which team of ours shows up. Is it going to be the team that played against Everton and bet them 3-0, or is it going to be the team that got beaten 1-0 by Newcastle, you know? And I'm not talking about players, I'm talking about mentality and physicality on the day. Because, listen, if we can catch Chelsea out and score an early goal and keep pressure on them, you know, we could get something out of it. But I reckon it'd be a draw. But once, listen,
What are you
Mark,
looking here from? What are you looking here from Ten Hag? You're looking him to make a statement. Is he going to drop players? Is he going to put players in? Is he going to go back and play some of the signings? What's he going to do here? Do you reckon? Is he going to stay stubborn as he's been? Are we going to see Rashford again on Wednesday? Are we going to see Martial on Wednesday?
Realistically, we shouldn't. But we will. We shouldn't, but we will. I said it to my dad before as well. Get some of those lads that play for the 23s and get them in the team. Like, they show more passion than any of the players out there. And you've at this stage, you've nothing to lose. There's a lad, Marcus Rashford, on 250,000 a week. If you put someone like, just for instance, Daniel Gore there, he's not on half as much. He plays for the badge. Daniel Gore and a few of the other lads out of the 23s were in the away section at the United Everton game, jumping up and down when they scored, showing that passion. That's what they'll do out on the pitch, and I'd give them an opportunity and a chance. But do you know what? I've an awful feeling this is going to be a 0-0. That wouldn't be a bad result for us, though.
No, absolutely not, and it's shocking to say that as well when you considering the situation that Chelsea is in as well. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No,
Like,
I think you mean a lot.
if you're playing anyway decent at all, you would think this is a great opportunity for 3 points. You know, but yeah, you just again, it's so interesting with both of you because you don't know either team what way they're going to show up and stuff like that.
Jekyll
If
and
one of
Hyde,
these
isn't
teams
it?
shows up in the mood, they could do serious damage. You know, so
Both, like I
yeah.
said, both us and Chelsea have been Jekyll and Hyde all season, haven't we?
Yeah, and then we round out with Thursday. Then Everton, Newcastle, and Tottenham, West Ham.
Yeah, the Everton Newcastle game should be a good one, especially after Everton winning, and obviously the fans will still be up for it. They'll still feel aggrieved over the whole deduction and trying to gain the points back. And Newcastle, you know, they could be tired. They could be there for the taking. You know, at the game they use a lot of energy against us, put a lot of pressure on us. You could see it was draining. You know, they had a tough week. PSG, ourselves, and now Everton away. That's a really tough week. Everton could take advantage here. I could see an upset here. I can see a home win, if I'm being honest.
If there was ever a ground that would drain you of your energy, it's Goodison Park, isn't
it? Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Got a feel for Nick Pope as well. Out injured now. It looks like he's going to be out for a while now. But they have been linked with
David De Gea, seen that.
David De Gea. Imagine that. And that would be very, very interesting. Yeah, that would also be a subliminal message as well, you know.
Yeah. Are they not going for their Urelme, their third choice?
No. I said that the other day as well. I was talking to Newcastle fans yesterday, actually, and I was saying, you know, you could end up with a situation with Karius in goal. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, the Brefnik should start against Everton in goal, though, and obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Listen, still a great goalkeeper, great shot stopper, and I'm talking about De Gea now. Obviously, the Golden Glove last season, and still without club, but he's training hard from what I hear as well. You know.
Yeah, Jack reckons Arsenal ain't that good this season. Well done to them. They beat Brentford, Man City, and beat Man United. Well, listen, you don't have to be good to win games. We've seen it for years with Man United where they didn't necessarily play well, but they always got the results they needed to secure.
They grinded out results.
You know, and like we could take nothing out of that Arsenal game the other day, as you said earlier. That could have been a 5 or 6-1. Jesus should have had a hat trick. Let's be honest here.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think like ourselves. I think ourselves and Arsenal still haven't hit our ceiling yet. We can get much better this season as well. And that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing, you know, because neither of us is playing really, really well. But we're racking up the points, and that's all that really counts at this time of the year.
That's all you listen to stay in the race. That's all you need to do, isn't it?
Yeah, Acers, Rashford won't be starting against Chelsea. Acers, I'm telling you now, I would be surprised if he starts. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I've been saying that all season before games. I can't start Rashford, can you? You look at live score to see the lineups. Jesus, he's starting Rashford again. It's an absolute joke.
Steve, give us your prediction. Tottenham versus West Ham. West Ham are massive.
West Ham.
But they lost to Newcastle and they have tons of injury and they are poor away. Not that poor. What's the crack, pal? How are you, Henry? Good to see you, man. Make sure you're going over supporting Henry and Morris's channels as well. Any of the channels.
Henry.
Make sure you drop your links, folks. If you have any episodes that have come out or anything like that you want people to go over and check out, throw them in there. Newcastle will destroy Everton easily. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't think so, Aces. I don't think it'd be that simple.
I'd be surprised. And the thing about it as well is that Goodison ground as well doesn't play well into Newcastle style of play, the way they go wide and open things up and stuff like that as well. It's not that big.
One of the lights in Goodison.
That's it. Tottenham versus West Ham. Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be an interesting one as well. What do you reckon, Marky?
I think Spurs can nick it by a goal, to be honest. I think they might nick it. But the only question I'd have, did that game yesterday suck the energy out of Spurs? They left a lot on the pitch out there yesterday against City, didn't they?
That can happen, can't it, with top 6 teams where you go from the high of playing a Man City or an Arsenal or whatever it is to the lows of playing a Luton or a Burnley or whatever it is, and you have to motivate yourself and get yourself up again and stuff like that. I'm actually going to go out there. I fancy a West Ham winning this one.
You reckon,
Believe it or not. Yeah, I think I could fancy a West Ham winning this one because I think this will play a little bit into West Ham's hands because it's going to be very open. And West Ham have some players there that when games are very open, they can certainly do the business. So I'm thinking a West Ham win here. I think Tottenham will come back. As you said, they'll feel physically and mentally drained from that Man City game and stuff like that and all. And, 3 days later is nothing at all,
No, definitely not.
Newcastle destroy Everton at Goodison last season 4-1. Yeah, but it's there's a lot more rolling on this year. You know what I mean? There's
and they've a lot more injuries as well. From what I can remember, they had a full squad to pick from then last season as well.
Yeah, I think they've with Pope now. I think it's 12 first squad injuries and stuff like that, and all. So yeah, it's massive. I didn't even do anything, and you're blocking me for apparently not being respectful by talking about Liverpool. I presume that's a Henry. Niall, have you seen we're back in for Thuram? I have. I seen we were linked with him again and stuff like that and all. So it's going to be interesting to see what way it goes, actually, especially now with Matip after picking up the injury. We'll see how that goes. Now, we have a bit of cover there and stuff like that, but I actually firmly believe, and I came to the conclusion today, Mark, I don't know how you feel about this. I reckon the team that wins the league this year is the team that goes out and does the best business in January. That's what will kick you on and spur you on to do, and I think that's really going to be the case. So I hope we have plans to go out and do things.
And a few like deals could be delayed, couldn't they, with the African nations been on as well, wouldn't they?
Or that could inspire a few deals to happen even quicker.
Yeah, it's quicker. Yeah, true that.
Because we're going to need bodies in, and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, all right. We'll just Salah go after the AFCON. We bring Mbappe in. It'll be all good.
You play FIFA again, good, yeah?
I am, yeah. Championship manager or something. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy that Gordon is scoring 4 games on the trot. Is it crazy though, Acers? I was listening to Eddie Howe talking about what he's done with Anthony Gordon, and it sounds like what he's done is he's kind of strategically got people focusing on Isaac and players like that, and no one's kind of picking up Gordon. So he's been given free license to go in there and
get in the right positions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that picture of him on social media today with the Liverpool scarf around his neck?
No.
When he was a kid. Gordon, yeah. No. I think it's himself and his dad outside some away stadium, and he's there with his Liverpool scarf on. I must find it again. I'll screenshot it and WhatsApp it to you.
Made a bad choice early on in his career. New centre back, potentially, or maybe a left back, Jack. A left back would be nice, maybe. Burnley 2, Luton 1. He's going for Arsenal. Burnley 2-1.
Yeah, Arsenal to beat Luton 3-0.
Yeah.
Palace 1, Bournemouth 1, Sheffield, Liverpool 3-0.
3-0, yeah. No, that's all right. As long as Liverpool 3-0 is there, that's all we want. That's the most important. Chelsea on loan, Chiesa on loan in January, not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. Keane and Neville ripped United new asshole. Was great entertainment.
It was.
Do you know something? And do you know what I actually liked about it? Actually, Carragher's dissection of it was interesting.
As well, yeah.
He was kind of spot on as well, wasn't he? Because I think he was making the point like what we were making, that Marcus Rashford is true and true Man United, and he's the guy that people look to, and he's the focal point and the motivator, and that's what he should be.
Yeah.
And then you had all this talk coming out today about, is he fed up because maybe he wanted to be the captain and Bruno was made captain and all this kind of thing and all, but sure. Who knows?
Well, like, if you're not made captain, like, you should be going out there proving to Ten Hag that you're a leader on the pitch, and he made a mistake in not making you captain instead of whinging about it.
Yeah, the same way Bruno went about his business when Maguire was captain, and he basically wrestled the captain's armband off him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just don't think Marcus is that way. It's Mark. Mark YH.
Yeah, I did. Oh, the picture is it, Jack? Of Gordon.
I seen the picture of Gordon with the Liverpool scarf. Brentford 2, Brighton 1, and Fulham 1, Forest 1. Interesting. Keith, big up Keith, how are you? Hi Niall, I got a prediction right with the Spurs and City game. I think Villa will get something out of City game, another draw. Hopefully,
Yeah,
here's hoping.
definitely, Keith.
Jack's in, and it was outside with Wembley
Wembley.
with his dad.
Come
Outside
on,
Wembley
Jack.
with his
Come
dad.
on, Jack.
Interesting.
Good old pick.
Right, let's get into talk about FA Cup draw. Don't know whether you see that, but the top billing is Arsenal. I presume Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah, you're missing one there though.
Am I?
You know where see beside Forest, it's gonna say Blackpool. It will say Blackpool, trust me.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, obviously standout toy, Arsenal, Liverpool. Look, there could be a few upsets there as well. Obviously, Stoke and Brighton. Stoke aren't doing too great in the Championship. I think they're 17th at the minute, but it's that type of thing where Brighton have played so many games and then they're going to the Bet365 Stadium after being playing in Europe and loads of games in the league that you might see a little kind of an upset. But obviously, Man United's first away game in the Cup in 12 or 13 games. I know a few of the season ticket holders are happy because money isn't going to be taken out of their account now for the first time in a long time. Because we just kept getting every cup draws at home and at home. So, obviously, Sunderland, Newcastle as well. That's going to be a massive game. They haven't had a derby in quite a while. Sunderland obviously been promoted and getting into the Championship, and they're near the top of the Championship now in the right place, and they're playing some really good football at the minute as well. So that'd be a really good game. That Sunderland Newcastle, the stadium will be hopping that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you one that stood out for me as well. Gillingham probably have a good chance against Sheffield United as well. They won't fancy going there either, and the crowd will be up for it with the way Sheffield United is going at the moment. What else took out? Wigan United.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting going back there. We haven't, like I said, we haven't had an away cup game in a long time, so I'm looking forward to it. You know, especially in the FA Cup. We'd be hoping to win. Wigan are kind of hot and cold. Obviously, be a sellout. If you look at most of the games in League One and stuff, they're not getting half the crowds there. But that'd be a sellout. It'd be a tough game, but I expect us to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack, you'd probably expect Tranmere to beat Sheffield United at the moment as well. So that's not surprising.
Blackpool could be getting a bye to the next round because before the game got cancelled on Saturday because who are they meant to be playing? They fielded an illegal player in the last round, so there's a bit of an investigation going on to that. So Blackpool could get a bye to the next round against Forest away.
Interesting. That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
So interesting. Still early days in the FA Cup with all these toys and stuff like that, but certainly the Derby one is one that sticks out. Obviously, Sunderland and Newcastle, and clearly Arsenal and Liverpool top billing. Well, now they'll TV, they'll probably put QPR versus Bournemouth on, and Middlesbrough versus Villa. Middlesbrough Villa actually is going to be an interesting game as well. Actually,
that will be. Yeah. Well, come here, that Arsenal Liverpool game we 12:30 on a Saturday morning. Will it BT?
Probably 12:30 on a Tuesday afternoon or something like that. You know what I mean? The way things go and stuff like that. Let's have a quick chat about the New Deal. Want to talk about this? Some interesting stuff coming out on this. But the New Deal is in place now, running all the way to 2029 because of the extension due to the pandemic. 6.7 billion domestic TV rights there, which is absolutely massive. Now, it's all the usual stuff that's in there, but the two things that stuck out to me the most is one, they're continuing with the 3 o'clock blackout on the Saturday, which is very, very disappointing considering.
If you know the right place.
When you know, you know. We could tell you, just get a VPN, Surfshark, NordVPN, or whatever it is. Get a VPN, head over to America, spend $5.99 a month, and sign up to Peacock, and you can watch all the games you want. There you go. I don't need to hide this. We're not doing anything illegal. We're all Americans on a Saturday.
Howdy now.
So good. Yeah, absolutely. But the other one that was an interesting one for me as well, Amazon this year have 20 matches, and they're not included in the New Deal. They didn't get they didn't take up any of the offers of the New Deal, any of the the pots or whatever
Serious?
way they do it and stuff like that. Yeah, apparently so. So
Okay.
I don't know whether someone like Netflix or someone else is coming in maybe to do that. I
They'd
noticed
have to,
Netflix
yeah.
recently have been doing a lot more sports sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe Netflix are going to do something. I'm not too sure, but Amazon didn't take up the 20 game deal, so that should be interesting.
Are the upper
To see
tier in
what
for
way
any of
that
the
goes.
matches, no?
Well, we'd be there for all the matches, wouldn't
We
we?
can
We'd be
get the
there for all
rice
the
in them.
matches.
We'll get the rice in them.
Listen, God knows what the upper tier will be doing come 2029. What's that now? 6 years away.
Yeah. Stephen be still talking about CM Punk.
Absolutely, 100%. Hopefully, I will too. Super Wide Army, Tranmere, good man, Jack.
Tranmere.
That's what I want to hear. Big
Listen,
Tranmere
there's
fan.
only one team in Liverpool. It's Accrington Stanley.
Jack reckons I should be a Tranmere ultra.
Oh,
What was
good.
that, your man? The ref? Wasn't there a ref? Who was the ref? Is it your man Dean?
Uh,
Is he a
yeah,
Tranmere fan?
he is.
Wasn't
He's
he at
just
one
been
of
in
the
the crowd.
games and he was up on
Yeah.
the railings and he was giving it loads, wasn't he? Remember
Oh,
that?
sorry,
Was
two
classic,
secs.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on, I'll sing some Tranmere Johnson songs. Jack, I wouldn't have a clue. Good Lord. The Zone has Premier League games, yeah, absolutely. I think this was more just the domestic deals that was done and stuff like that. But I was surprised that Mike Dean, my sister boyfriend, sees him every day. Yeah, that was mad. That video of him up on the railing and he's giving it loads and all was really, really cool. It was mad. But that's going to the general breakdown of the deal. There's not much more of a difference. They're going to show all the Sunday 2 p.m. kickoffs are all going to be televised. So that's something. And I suppose as the European situation evolves as well, with more placings and more games and expanding those tournaments and stuff like that, the blackout on the Saturday 3 p.m. is becoming less and less effective anyway and stuff like that. But I was surprised coming into 2024, the deal run until 2029. It's disappointing that the Saturday 3 p.m. blackout is still in place. So I think it was disappointing anyway. Say Dazzler was annoyed with United. He didn't have a lot to say. He was disappointed. I was talking to him at halftime, and at halftime he was pretty content. But you always kind of felt that goal was coming, didn't you? Anyone else live in Merseyside here? I know Jack does, isn't he? Anfield Road TV. He's a Mersey boy, isn't he? He's a Liverpoolian. The Euro draw. We're going to get into the Euro draw. Don't worry, Acers. I have it there ready to go. No doubt. No, but like 50 Tranmere scars and put them as your new background, as you're now a Tranmere Ultra. I got promoted, Jack. Did I? Jack's promoted as Mark to Tranmere Ultras. The new Tranmere Ultras, Mark.
Sorry about that, cuz one of the girls was
Yeah,
screaming there.
yeah, no, one of the things I was saying was basically that all the Sunday matches are going to be televised now. But the point I was making about the Saturday blackout is with the expansion of the European tournaments, with more matches coming down the pan by the time we get around this deal, I think the blackout becomes less and less significant because I was discussing it with Ben today as well. And you have anywhere between 5 or 6 teams involved on the Thursday games, maybe 4, 5, 6. So that's 8 teams basically that get shunted to the Sunday anyway. So that's the guts of that's nearly half the league anyway. So
exactly.
what else are you left with? So it's it just becomes. But I just think this day and age with the technology that's there, I'm surprised they didn't allow the teams or the teams didn't put forward to be allowed to show the matches, the Saturday matches 3 p.m.s, show them on their own fan channels and stuff like that, and all through subscription. And stuff like that, because if you're not going to show them, what harm is it if you let the club go and show it? Even if it's only like it doesn't have to be the 180 cameras and the 400 engineers that Sky Sports provide, but even if they showed you more or less what you want to see and stuff like that for a small subscription fee and stuff like that, maybe that would have worked better,
But myself and Rowan were talking, because I was saying like every Saturday night now to sit down, watch match of the day. There was a time where I wasn't able to because I was out in town and on the lash, yourself. But I was just saying years ago, because you remember this. Nowadays, you can go on live score after the game or on YouTube and see the highlights of the game. Remember, you used to listen to the radio commentary on was it Today FM or someone had it, and you've been trying to imagine what the goals are, and you'd have to wait till 10:30 or 10:20 every single week to see the goals. You'd be sitting up, you'd be wrecked, but you still want. Now they can do it at the touch of a button, But I used to love, I still do, sit up and watch match of the day, but I miss those
Yeah.
days where nothing's
But see, the old days,
it's
what
not
we
your
used to do
face.
is we used to go out for the night, and you'd be coming in and watch a match a day at 7 in the
Yeah.
morning. Remember the
Dude,
replay and stuff like that on the way in.
I remember, listen, as a kid, it was BBC on a Saturday night was Noel's house party, big break, match of the day
Yeah,
then after the 10 o'clock news. So, and they said, if you don't want to know the results, look away now. And you'd be like turning away and stuff like that. You know, we had teletext as well. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, I'll give you a
good old
story
days.
about teletext. Actually, I was living up in Leopardstown at the time, and I was listening. They used to do radio coverage on the Saturday afternoons. You'd be listening to it on the radio, and CFAX, you'd have CFAX, you'd be updating and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
Airtel or whatever it was at the time. And I remember Smeaton scored a 94th minute, I think it was, winner against Chelsea or something like that. We were playing Chelsea. Smeaton scored a really, really late goal. I think it was 94th minute or something. And to win the game, and I couldn't believe and stuff like that. And I was waiting as well because I was listening. The radio was a little bit behind. I was refreshing Airtel and all. So I remember you'd refresh the
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
Yeah,
Was
just to
it
make sure.
2-2-2-2-0 for the football? And I think it was 2-2-1 on
Yeah.
the Airtel for the actual results.
There's a guy online I think either on Twitter or on one of the pages, and he actually takes the matches. So he will take, let's say the Newcastle United game the other day, the 1-1, and he does up the CFAX page for it. And
That's
he has
class.
it all there, and
Class.
he can stick it on a t-shirt for you or on a mug and all that kind of thing.
No
It's
way.
pretty
That's
cool, yeah.
class.
And it's exactly the way it was with the CFAX page and all, and it has all the
That's
other
class,
headlines
man.
from the day and all.
That's
It does a real good job,
that's
but
class.
it's absolutely cool, yeah. So if you had a real good game that you want to remember and stuff like that, I found him actually last year after we beat. You remember the 7-0? And I was tempted to get it, but I didn't get it. But he does mugs and key rings and t-shirts and the whole lot. So pretty cool, yeah.
That's
Tranmere had
but the likes of Jack won't remember teletext or any of that.
No. These boys wouldn't remember where you had to be in at a certain time if you wanted to watch something because there was no on demand or anything like that. Pubs are still streaming 3 p.m. games from the internet. They are indeed. Yeah,
well, Aces, I tell you, years ago when myself and my dad had a match off, if my team were playing or his team, we'd be ringing around every pub in the Dundrum, Ghost Town, Stillorgan area. And are you showing the United at 3 o'clock? And it was all hush and, wasn't it like you weren't allowed to say much?
It was the equivalent of a football lock-in.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That is it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it used to be good. It used to be great crack. But now, obviously, like I said, you can get any of the games at your disposal.
Yeah, Stephen. No, I didn't get either of them. Actually, I didn't get those. I'm not actually a big Undertaker fan, so I don't have too many figures of him, and certainly I wouldn't be buying a gobbledygooker figure. It would interest me. Woolshed always streaming matches on laptops and smartphones. Shh, just don't say it. Don't tell anyone. I think they got hit before. Didn't someone go in to check them out before when they were? Was it the Super Bowl stuff and stuff? The police went in and shut the parties down and stuff like that.
Should and all the Brazilian fans will be in there for the Corinthians and the Palmeiras games and stuff like that as well.
That's right. Yeah, they cover a lot of stuff actually.
And they used to do the karaoke on a Thursday night and all in there. Not that I ever partake in any of that,
You just host it. What did you make of the Euro draw? I know as Ireland fans we wouldn't have been glued to it and stuff like that and all, but
some interesting groups, isn't it?
Yeah, Scotland's one is interesting. Switzerland, Hungary, and Germany. That's going to be a tough group.
Be very tough for them. I was looking. What was it? Group D: France, Austria, Netherlands, and obviously the playoff group winner A. Portugal, Turkey, Czech again. Tough group. Yeah, tough group as well. You'd expect England to qualify, and then Denmark. Obviously, Serbia could be there. Serbia will make things difficult for the other teams in the group, but yeah, you'd expect England, Denmark there to go through. But
and then France, of course, with Netherlands again after being in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting.
And then obviously Spain, Croatia, and Italy in the same group. That'd be interesting as well, wouldn't it? Croatia probably aren't the team they were a few years ago, though.
Yeah, Nella's being done from I'm a Celeb. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I don't really follow it. Frankie went last night, didn't he? Frankie the Tory.
Did he?
He went last night. Yeah, Hillary was telling me. She gives me little snippets and stuff. Said he was quite quiet on the show and stuff. So
I always watch the opening program with the girls, but then they'll watch tonight's episode tomorrow having their dinner before they get home, that sort of way. So I didn't get to see any of
Okay,
it.
catch up. Yeah.
But Frankie's gone back to
Yeah.
America to pick up a massive wedge anyway.
Frankie goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Too right.
Get that Tranmere training quarters up on their club, absolutely. Group D is the group of death according to Acers. France, Austria, Netherlands. Yeah, absolutely. Austria. It was Ralph Ranrick
Yeah,
managing
my
Austria, isn't
Ireland,
he? Yeah.
mate. Yeah,
Did
Wreck-It
really
Ralph.
well. Did really well. Yeah, absolutely. Let's round out then. Let's have a quick chat about United. Picked up a few bits on it. Man United have not won away from home against a team starting in the top 8 for 26 months. And then the breakdown on the points was interesting. 75 of the 99 points that Ten Hag has won have been against bottom half teams, which I thought was
Yeah.
quite staggering because that's a massive amount,
And some of them weren't easy games either. Like we were winning just by a 2-1 or a 1-0, that sort of way. And you look at Wolves at the start of the season, we bet them 1-0. We got away with murder in that game. Onana should have been arrested for assault, and the Wolves getting a penalty at the end they should have had. So we've been very lucky. Yeah, I think did we only beat Sheffield United 2-1 as well and stuff like that. So we made very hard work of those games against the bottom half teams as well. It's not as clear as you might see in the graphic as 75 out of 99. They were tough points to get.
It's okay. Ten Hag. I don't think Ten Hag's going to be around that long. We actually must check our poll. Actually, see how our poll is going. I haven't updated our poll. Let me have a look here and see. Keep going. Yeah, 2 years since you've won away against the top 8 team as well, which is quite staggering as well, isn't it?
Seeing the list after the Super Sunday, and it's just shocking. Keane was right. Like it's scary. It's a shambles. Like not to have, and not only that. Like we've gotten hammered 7-0 against Hughes. We got absolutely hammered by City, and yeah, it doesn't make for good reading at all. Like you think maybe a few games over a season, you think right, you might be able to learn something and take, but like 2 years of it, and we're still at it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So looking at our poll at the moment, will Eric Ten Hag be in charge of United come Christmas? 70% say yes, 30% say no. Interesting. So still a certain amount of confidence there in Eric Ten Hag. As far as you're concerned, I mean, look, we know all the stuff there, the Jadon Sancho, Varane, Casemiro. You've had information as well from reliable sources. If you want to share that with people, we were talking about it earlier about training and stuff.
Yeah, no. I was talking to someone on Friday. They were here with me that work very closely with people behind the scenes at Manchester United, and they were telling me like Casemiro, like I said, he's training twice a day on his own with the staff there, and he'll be out the door now in January. Martial will be with him as well. Varane has gone there as well. Him and obviously that's no secret that him and Ten Hag have had a massive fall now. There's a big divide in the changing room as well, and Steve McLaren is trying to be the go-between between Ten Hag and the players at times as well. It's just Bruno's trying his best as well as captain, is what I've been told about, trying to get some sort of harmony in there. I've been also told about Rashford has a few things that are going on off the pitch, family things, and it's not involving his brother. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm not saying it's no excuse, but he was just saying it does add a little bit to his state of mind, what's happening off the pitch as well. So, yeah, there's
been issues with the girlfriend, hasn't there? And I don't mean issues as in.
No, it's
like
actually
that, I mean,
it's
they broke up,
something
didn't
else.
they? And then they got
no, but it's something else. It's to do with his close knit family, and it's not his brother and what's happening over there. It's something else. So, there is that issue as well. Obviously, I'll talk to you later about. But there's all that as well that's going on with him and stuff like that. But like I said, that doesn't take away from what he should be doing on the pitch. And like I said, for a while I was looking at Ten Hag and I felt sorry for him because the whole Anthony situation, the Sancho situation, the Mason Greenwood situation as well. And I was like, it's a lot to take on board. But then you look at it further down the line now and you're thinking, there's been times we're in games and we've no plan B, and he doesn't like you said, he's a stickler for sticking. If Rashford's having an absolute brutal game or whoever it might be, he sticks with them for the next game. And you're like, anyone, you're like Stevie Wonder could see changes need to be made, and he's still, is it because he wants to get sacked? I don't know, but he's not doing himself any favours by keep doing it,
Yeah, Ace is letting us know Tony Mowbray sacked by Sunderland now on Sky Sports
Oh,
News. There you
I
go.
think
So,
Swansea's manager got sacked as well this evening.
yeah, there've been an awful few decisions being made. Jack reckons he's all of that 70% to keep him there.
Good man, Jack. He's hoping we'll get Tranmere in the next round if we beat Wigan.
He'd be all over that, imagine. It's a really, really difficult one because kind of most people kind of want Ten Hag to stay. Talking about United fans, not necessarily neutrals.
Yeah.
We naturally want him to stay, like we wanted Ollie to stay and everyone else. But I think
well.
the issue that you have there is that when you start rattling down through some of the issues, it kind of starts to second doubt your decision on wanting him to stay. And it's kind of, and no one wants to come out and go, right, I'm Ten Hag out, because that's never the case. No one wants to be that first person, if you like, to absolutely pan him under the bus and stuff like that. But I think you're dead right. Some of the decisions, and I think the Sancho one for me, when that happened, and I spoke to our guys in our WhatsApp group and all and stuff like that, and I was saying, that's huge. That's going to fester, and it's going to grow, and it's going to garner sympathy. And he's going to treat other players in a different way that he should treat in the same way, but he won't. And questions are going to be asked of favoritism and all this kind of stuff, and it just all unfolds. And now you see today, you've got Matic coming out talking about players arriving late to training, and he was taking the list on the wall. He was like El Presidente, and he was fining people and all that kind of stuff. And you're thinking, that's a bit kind of weird, isn't it? Because he's the player doing it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you listen to Sky Sports today talking about how he's lost half the dressing room. I don't know how you calculate that, but that's what they were talking about. And that also half the dressing room are not happy that they want Jadon Sancho back. So once you start getting those stories and you start piecing those bits of the jigsaw together, the outcome is kind of self-evident in what way this is going to go, isn't it? And it's just it's a mess, isn't it?
Big time.
Jack Crew Alexandra is in Warrington, and it's such a story club.
Well, Jack, I've actually I've been to the train station in Crewe there, which is just literally at the back of the stadium. Myself and my dad were going from Stoke back to Manchester, and we had a stop over at the train station, so we took a little lap around the stadium. It was pretty cool.
I think this is an interesting one from Aces, where he's talking about Sir Jim wanting to put the British back in Man United, if you like, and stuff like that, the homegrown stuff and all. That's all well and good to a point. Obviously, you can't go from one way to the other way.
We've always had British homegrown players coming through. That's
and still
never
have.
Been
And still
exactly.
have.
That's never changed. Like, I don't think any club in Britain can be British. You're always going to have the foreign element, but we're bringing through as many British players as any other club out there, and we always have, and we always will.
Yeah, and I wouldn't agree with Southgate. No chance.
Definitely not.
I think he already has a cushy number lined up in the FA after he's finished with the England team as well. Anyway, hasn't he? From what I read.
And he'll get offers from Saudi for mad money as well, just because he's been English man, the England manager,
Right, Jack, have a good one. Thanks for joining
us. Jack. My buddy.
Brexit FC.
Jack, I'll sneak off here and I'll let Niall read you a bedtime story as you've requested last week, all right?
Not a chance. Imagine. Yeah, well, that's it, folks. Another show in the bag, another Monday mashup. Got plenty to get through there tonight. Nearly an hour and 20 in and stuff like that. Big thank you to everyone that joined us in the chat. Make sure, of course, you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're liking the video on the way out, of course, as well. Have a good week. Enjoy all the midweek football. I will be back tomorrow, I think, at 7 for Pro Wrestling Weekly. I want to get that done then so I can review the football as well later on. So we should have a good show tomorrow night. Stephen, just for your benefit, we will be talking CM Punk again and all that kind of good stuff. Don't worry, it's not going away too quick. Randy Orton signing for SmackDown as well. Plenty of wrestling content coming to you tomorrow. I probably have a Sheffield United preview to squeeze in somewhere along the way. It might be recorded. It might not be a live show. That's just the way it goes with the volume of stuff happening at the moment. Thursday, I'll be back for Thursday Tier Talk. Friday, I'll be doing a preview for the Palace game. Saturday, I'll be doing a reaction to the Palace game. Non-stop. Just plenty to do. Non-stop. CM Punk on SmackDown this Friday. That's right. I think SmackDown this Friday is it the tribute to the troops, I think, or something like that they do, or something like that. Someone was saying it to me today, so we'll see what happens anyway. So should be good. But as always, folks, stay safe. Keep out of that cold weather as well. It's freezing out there these days as well. So stay safe. Don't slip. Don't hurt yourself. All that kind of good stuff. Enjoy the football. Be kind and courteous to each other as always. And as always, support the channel. Check out Spotify as well for the audios. They go up the following day. Don't miss out on them as well. Support the audio side of stuff as well. And we will talk to you again real soon. Cuz, cheers.
Cheers, cuz.